right? Even in high school. When I was younger, I skipped a grade, so I was already really young. So I'm only like 15, 14, 15, going to different countries on the train. And then I came back to the US. And then I went to Clemson in South Carolina, just randomly, down south. So it was a little bit different tonality there. But I was in school for electrical engineering. Super random, right? Like, I love it. I enjoy the engineering field, and I enjoyed like math and science in school. But for me, it wasn't doing enough for me. I want to be able to do more for people and like the way that people think versus just like, oh man, I made the new 6G antenna for cell phones. We're getting 1 million up, oh down. Like all that stuff to me wasn't as compelling. But I moved to Las Vegas. This was where my mom was and the last station that she was in. And it was because it's funny, I'm dancing at this time, right? Just randomly like hip hop dance. I'm talking about popping. I'm talking about everything else from top to bottom. And so when I moved to Vegas, I meet some guys here, and we just started this crew. And this is way back when, like some of them are still in high school at this time, even some of the younger guys in middle school at this time. And I'm just finishing college, so I'm the oldest one of this entire team. And we ended up doing shows from that. We have this dance crew to where we're doing Cirque du Soleil, we're touring, we're doing, some of us did the Madonna tour and went all around the world doing these things. I was actually a stage director at Dre's nightclub for at least one summer. We got to coordinate a lot of the shows and stuff that were happening down there. So that was my foray into my first business that I ever launched. So it's way different from electrical engineering, right? Then I get into marketing. So one of my friends, he just kind of told me that, hey, there's this digital marketing thing. It's going to be big. Everybody hears about it now, but back then it was kind of a new concept. And we started a company together. We then separated on the business, and then now I launched my own brand, which is Raw Marketing Group. So that is a fleet of digital marketing services, whether that's social media, AI integration, things like that for businesses. And I jump into a lot of different fields, but I think my electrical engineering background gives me the ability to figure some of these things out. I feel like when I see a picture, I can figure out what needs to connect from point A to point B or point A to point Z, if you will. So now we have AI that's in the building that's helping things be like 10x. Who here has even dove into AI at all? Has touched it a little bit? Went on ChatGPT or anything like that before, Gemini before, even typed just one or two things into the platform? Every so often. If you haven't, just type anything that you could think of into the bar and just see what it spits back out. I think we're living in like the twilight zone sometimes with how easy it is to get access to information. And with that too, I have a couple of other companies that I'll get into that I was able to launch over the last few. But this is just about entrepreneurial mindset and thinking bigger about taking your ideas and your passions and turning it into something that's valuable. And it's a bunch of just random lessons that I've learned over X amount of years that kind of took me a long time to learn, or a lot of pain to learn, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to learn. But the first thing is that your story is your superpower. So many of us inherit limiting beliefs that hold us back from, or like the myth that it takes money to make money, or these stories that just prevent us from taking the next step. Have you guys been introduced to limiting beliefs before or heard the terminology limiting beliefs? So it's just these ideas that we have that just don't really exist other than in our head. Like, oh, I should be further along than I am, right? Like for me, I'm 32 and I still have these moments in time where I'm like, damn, I should be way past here. I should be in Dubai right now. You know what I mean? Not in Las Vegas, right? But that's just an idea that we have based on things that we're looking at and other comparisons that we're making. But it gets even deeper than that because your parents give you beliefs that they have and they don't necessarily mean to, but they ingrain those limiting beliefs like in us, right? And sometimes we believe that we don't have that much of an interesting story to begin with, right? But that's where we're kind of wrong, right? I've seen people take small situations and turn it into a crazy story and then go on a comedy stage and turn it into, $100,000 comedy skit that they were able to run, right? And the same thing kind of goes for me. I can tell my story and make it interesting, but if I were to tell it a different way, it would sound like nothing. It would just sound like I came to Vegas, I started dancing, and then I went into business, and now I'm here, So you have to curate that story, whatever you feel like it is. learn about brand storytelling and how to integrate your story into whatever business that you're trying to run. Because I guarantee you, people care more about you than they do the product or the service or the thing that you're trying to sell or get into. How many of you guys have been on camera before, even trying to like shoot content before for yourselves, anything like that? No? Yes? Okay. This was that's kind of where I feel like it gets very difficult for people to dig in and kind of try to get more into the business or stay for a long time in the business, is with the content creation side of things, because it gets very, very hectic, or it feels like you're making zero traction, right? You keep getting zeros on the board, zero view, zero view, zero view. But really, you're just getting better and better at curating that content, getting better and better at pushing that stuff forward. So I would just say use your story and tell what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, whether it seems like nothing. Just put it out there and see what comes back, because it's not just about views, it's about opportunities. Each view that you get is an actual real person that saw you and is able to really connect with you. And that's one thing that I've learned, like just working with influencers, for example. We done did over 100 influencer campaigns, just getting people brand deals or putting them in different positions, putting them in commercials, things like that, right? And literally one of my friends, he put it in my head. He said, yo, if I'm not making content right now, then my brand is dying. Like me because all I do is put stuff out there every single day, and we get opportunities in the inbox and things like that just from me doing this every day since the last 8 years. He's just been putting out content, even if it was hidden, even if it was missing. And I'm like, okay, this is a different mindset. But then I watched it, right? I watched him take a week off, and then the DMs dried up. Everybody moved on. Everybody went into another lane or another topic, right? That it just can't happen if you consistently put something out there, and then there's multiple channels that you can put it out on. And I'll get into that a little bit later. The next entrepreneurial mindset is just redefining the way that you look at wealth or money as a tool. For me, it shouldn't just be sitting in one spot. We always want to let the money flow, like whether that's with investments or actually reinvesting it back into your personal development or into your business development. How many of us have bought any courses before, bought any type of online courses, stuff like that? Like how much did that cost you when you bought whatever program it was? 30? Yeah. And how about you? $5 a month. These are great. Now we have platforms that have all these things for free, let alone just ChatGPT. That's one thing that's on the side, but universities are actually putting their studies out for free. Like MIT, I think Stanford, a few other colleges like Harvard, some of them put all of their coursework out there that you can just grab, take it, and start putting stuff together in your head. For me, the biggest thing that I've ever bought was this challenge course, teaching people how to do a 5-day challenge. And so every day you're teaching them something, but you're doing it in an interactive manner to where at the end of each day, you're doing hot seats and that people are paying for. And then at the end, you do a huge live event and you pull more people in, you give everybody an invite code, and it brings in like 10x the people. And then you do one more big sell, and then you do one more big hot seat. So it's like you're getting paid every single day, and then you get a huge lump sum of payment at the end with all your products. And the guy who made that, his name was Pedro Deo. This is like around, COVID time even. It was a $5,000 course, yo. So it's like the biggest course that I've ever bought, that I've ever to put my money out to. But that's how serious I am about learning the stuff. Like if I feel as though there's a huge gap between where I'm at and where I want to go, and I see a clear path to it, that's the path that I want to take. I don't want to take the longest way around. I don't know about you guys. I'm pretty impatient when it comes to stuff like that. Just thinking big. You want to model yourself after successful people in your industry, not necessarily with their morals though all the time, right? But with their habits, right? Take the habits that they have and just apply it to what you're doing every day. And then, like I said, just keep the money flowing. Money's just an energy thing at the end of the day. So as long as you keep it moving out and you're able to build commerce and build relationships with people and help other people get paid, you're going to get paid. You start getting more from people once you help people get what they want. Easy. The more you can help other people do that, the more it's going to come right back to you. And that was my number one thing. I started networking, and then I realized I had very bad success networking and giving people my business card where you stab them in the ribs with the business card. Oh, thank you. Yes. Yeah, I do marketing. Okay, fantastic. Right. And then it got really different when I just stopped worrying about the business cards and I started worrying about connecting to people in the room. So if you say, oh man, I'm looking to get business funding and I know this person is banker and they give business funding, I'm like, hey, this is a banker right here. They do this, that, and the third. They're a business banker and they can give up to 100,000, even with pretty low credit, whatever. You guys can talk that out. I know it always stops. I kind of give up on it. I appreciate you though. But that is like a huge, huge thing. Another piece here is that just authenticity matters. So you don't necessarily have to fit into somebody's paradigm or the paradigm of whatever industry that you're in just because that's how everybody else looks in the industry. As a matter of fact, as soon as you step outside of that frame, that's when you get the most success in the industry. And it goes for anything, the way that you dress, the way that you talk, anything that makes you quirky, anything that makes you need to just lean on that way, way more. And that's how you 10x, 20x the businesses. We have to do these things. When I work with a company, I do a 30, 60, 90-day strategy. So I'm breaking down everything that they need to do from top to bottom and everything that we're about to implement from top to bottom. But not just on the marketing side, also on the branding side, right? So what is it going to look like when you're looking at somebody? Everything that we live in right now was created by somebody to make you feel a certain way. The clothes that we have on was designed by somebody. The table that you have in front of you, the seats that you're sitting in was created by somebody to make you feel, think, look a certain way. It's touching on your senses, one of the 5 ways that it can, right? So you have to think like that. The way that you put yourself out there, as soon as people see you, they're going to start building the image of your brand right away. We have this thing that we do when we're networking. It's called a 30-second elevator pitch. The concept is, who's heard about an elevator pitch? Or maybe because I don't want to regurgitate something if everybody knows what that is already, right? But the elevator pitch is like if you were at the basement floor and you were talking to Jay-Z and he walked into the elevator with you and y'all were going to the penthouse and you had 30 seconds to tell him who you are and what you do and who you serve. Are you going to be able to get him to be interested enough to give you $1 million for it or $10 million for it, right? So if you don't know that, you're just going to sit there and try to ramble on and give them your story or your side, whatever it is, trying to build up to getting them to the story. And then the door is going to open before you even get it out. And so what we do is we build it from top to bottom. Like, oh, my name is this. I do this and I help people do this without having to go through that. That's it. I help people to get money through their business without having to wear 20 different hats in their business. That's one of my elevator pitches that I've used. But we'll do that for a business owner, and that just changes their life because every person that they meet now, they can articulate what they actually do and actually pull the funds in and the money in for it. But magnetic alignment, when you align your authentic purpose, you activate a natural magnetism that draws opportunities, people, resources to you. Success becomes less of a struggle. So if you're not already attracting a lot of that stuff, maybe you're in the wrong thing, but maybe you're just formatting what you do wrong, right? And you just think of it a different way and approach it from a different direction. I know the camera, it cuts off after like 15 minutes now, 20 minutes now, maybe even 5. Oh, storage this time? All right. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not too worried about it. Thank you. Next is just the myth of overnight success. The reality of success is that people have taken a long time to cultivate those skills in order to be successful. It seems like people are overnight successes because we saw them for the first time yesterday, or we saw them for the first time this year. Like we could look at somebody like Bryson Tiller, for example. When he dropped his first album, it kind of like flipped the world on his head for at least 6 months. People loved the music. They were like, man, he's the next truth. And then the next album, did we hear, right? But he's still in there. He's still making music. He's still hopping into other lanes and doing features and bringing things to light. But that whole process of making music is years way before that. He's been making music and has been dropping music for years, and it was falling flat. It was falling on deaf ears. But the first time that you hear it, it feels like, man, this is overnight success. The same goes with all these other people now. The same with the streamers. There are streamers that literally were looking like, you could look at Kai Cenat, for example, the biggest streamer that we have to date now. He was literally looking at zeros on the board for viewers on Twitch for a long, long time before it turned into hundreds of thousands of people. And then for us, it seems like, man, one day he just entered the scene and the next day he was the biggest streamer in the world. But he's putting in all that extra work consistently day after day. So it's only going to compound. If you keep stopping and starting, it'll never compound. If you try to do something for 1 year and then it's going really difficult, it's turning you into a different person, it's feeling very stressful, and you see something else that's better and you jump into that thing, you're jumping in at level 1 of a new thing. And then you're going to do it again for a year or 2 years and then jump into another thing. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. There are people that own toilet paper companies, man. You would think, what am I going to do with a toilet paper company that starts today? But they make that into $100 million industry. Janitorial companies, $100 million industry. Tops on water bottles. I'm sure there's a company that's making millions of dollars making tops for water bottles, but they're only doing it by focusing on one thing. I'm reading a book right now, and this is like, not something I recommend because these are like pretty crazy books that I read now at this point to get any kind of a buzz off of books, right? But one that I'm reading right now is called Limitless, and it's a book about your brain and rewiring your brain and stuff like that. But one thing that he says is we're looking at digital deluge right now, or what they call digital dementia. We actually have an attention span of about 8 seconds overall, which is less than a goldfish. Y'all know how crazy that is? People have no attention span. You talking to them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and they like, man, I'm trying to get out of here, bro. I'm trying to go somewhere else, because they're thinking of 20 different things, or they would just rather be scrolling on their phone, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. That's energy. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you have to control your own mind. So while there's millions of other people that are looking at things second by second and they're not really making any progress to any one thing, you can actually focus on just one single thing and make huge leaps and bounds, because you have an endless amount of resources now. You got an endless amount of technology now. You shouldn't be sitting there not knowing anything for more than 10 seconds. As long as it takes you to get your face scanned by face scanner on their phone, and then you can get the information right then. So really just think about that. I don't know. It gets crazy because I see people in the industry be alone and only need a few days to make a $1 million business now using technology, because they focused on the one thing. They didn't get off a tangent and start focusing on something else and start building it, and then built about 60% of the way and then jumped into something else. Right? Have you guys ever heard of the Warren Buffett 525 rule? Warren Buffett 525 rule. And so the concept is, if you have 25 different things to do, because we live a crazy life now, it's like more than 25 things, I would say, if you had to write down everything that you needed to do in a week amount of time. He says that you write down all 25 things, you prioritize it from top to bottom, and then you pretty much take the last 20 of them and you push them down and you don't look at them and you pay them no mind. Because what happens is our initial reaction to looking at a list like that is do 1% of each of these things. Well, I'm gonna do a little bit here. I'm gonna work on this here, then I'm gonna work on that, I'm gonna work on that, and then you kind of rotate them. But you're only making 1% at each of them. It doesn't really matter. He says ignore the bottom 20 and focus on the top 5, and only focus on the next 5 after you complete these top 5. And he taught all his people how to work like that, and it just increased their productivity like 5, 10x or some crazy number like that. You have to focus on one thing in order to get to the other side of it. And every day that you're thinking about something else, that's just breaking the cycle, is breaking the energy that you built on this one thing, whatever that is, your passion. And maybe you don't have a passion to start your own thing, but even when you get into something else, you're a part of that family now. You're a part of that culture now, right? So I say that action beats everything. I tell the people that I work with, if you're a client of mine, you have to kind of dedicate yourself to one of these things as well as what we're doing on the marketing side, because marketing is different from sales. You got finance, operations, sales, marketing. They're two different things, though. It feels the same. It's all, sales related, but I'm not the person that's actually delivering the sale. The content is, the stuff we curate is, the ideas that we have, and the psychology that we use is. So I tell them they got to do one of these things. They got to spend 100 minutes a day making content, whether that's writing something, generating something on ChatGPT, generating something with Midjourney, whatever that is, sitting in front of a camera, recording themselves, doing a mini podcast, bringing people onto there.
So how would you be able to
Yeah, so ChatGPT now just does image generation. So, for example, when you do YouTube thumbnails, you can generate a thumbnail now just with a few parameters on ChatGPT. You can use something like Gemini. It generates 30-second videos for you with the audio on them already. Like when you see all those Sasquatch generated videos, the Bigfoot joints, that's VO3 on there as well. You can do the same thing with pictures now as well. If you go to Canva, Canva has AI in it now to where you pretty much tell it what you needed to generate and turn it into an asset or whatever, and it'll have it already formatted for you in whatever social media content that you have. So use ChatGPT when you're writing stuff, especially on LinkedIn, is like a beautiful thing. I don't know if you guys are in LinkedIn yet. I know that's like maybe some time away, but start building that LinkedIn profile. It's gonna matter down line. If you just connect to people, it'll turn into followers or on the platform. Now you have a nice, clean resume. You can send people that all the time instead of having to constantly update your resume. hmm LinkedIn. What is LinkedIn? What is LinkedIn? No, I'm just playing. Yeah. So LinkedIn is a social media platform. So it's the same as like Instagram, it's the same as TikTok, but it is for business professionals. So people have their resumes on there, they have all of their business connections, but it's very much super professional. So I wouldn't put a lot of your personal stuff in there, but a lot of your business related content, you can build it on there as well. You can put your employment history down there. You can put credentials. I got like 30 different certificates and certifications and docs for marketing stuff that I've done in the past. And it's just all archived there. So when people are looking me up, they always look me up on LinkedIn as well. And they're like, oh, crap, damn, okay. I got like 2,500 followers, which is a lot on LinkedIn. It seems like nothing, but it's a lot on LinkedIn. So if you just connect on there, you'll get a ton done. Next, I mean, for me, is 100 cold outreaches a day. I don't know about you guys. Instagram is like my main platform. Who uses Instagram as their main platform? Okay. Who uses TikTok as their main platform? Somewhat. Who uses Facebook as their main platform? Somewhat. Okay, cool. So on Instagram, we have the uncanny ability to message people directly on the platform, even if you're not following them, right? You could just go to somebody's platform. You could comment on 3 different pictures and be like, hey, check your DMs, check your DMs, check your DMs, because you're not following each other yet. And you can send them a message and I'm getting a request and they will probably check it out or open that inbox. How crazy is that? But we feel like we have some kind of hidden, invisible veil between us and the people that we want to work with. Why? That doesn't exist. That's like fake social media etiquette, dog. It's not really there. So you can send a message out for any business. If you're looking at a business that you even want to work with, you can message the business and they usually have a social media team that's taking that message and putting it directly in front of the owner of the business, which is where you want to be versus just going into the business, seeing the supervisor of the business, giving them a resume, and then that's it. And you don't know what happened after that. So even in that form, it's way better. So I tell people, just find the people who you need to sell to or the type of person that you would want to sell your product to. Send 100 messages a day to those people. They could be the same message and you can have it generated by ChatGPT or Gemini. But after you do it every day for a month, you're going to have responses back. And these are conversations that are sparking opportunity in exactly what you're trying to build. And it takes no effort. I'm telling you, it takes no effort at all to get the money out of conversations like that. And then the other side of it, right? We post stories and we'll have 100 people that looked at your story and you're not messaging any of them for anything, but it is somebody that you would want to work with. Why? They're not watching your story every day because they don't like you or they don't care about what you got going on. They care, they're invested. So wouldn't you want to figure out why they were invested in your story or why they were invested in you as a person? Or if there's any synergy to work between what we have going on and what I know that you have going on, right? So much so that Instagram made it so there's literally a message button next to every person that's in the stories. Do y'all realize that? Bless you. That wasn't there forever. They have the little message button, the DM button next to every person that looked at your story because it wants you to go ahead and click that and send them a message right now. Because those are the people that are closest to you. Those are the people that you need to nurture with your content. Those are the people that care about what's happening with you at home, even or behind the scenes when you're not just in front of the camera. They're watching your stories. So definitely reach out to them. And then this one is the hard one that I tell them if they're not going to do 100 minutes of content or do 100 DMs. Now you got to put up $100 a day in ad spend. And they never want to do that one. They never want to do that one. So they're just like, all right, I'll just get in front of the camera then for 100 minutes a day. And then we document the process. But realistically, though, if you do have the budget to put in ad spend and you can put $100 a day, it's returning faster. It takes a long time when you're putting $2 a day. Have you ever done Facebook ads or boosted a post or anything like that? We putting $2 a day, $3 a day, right? We put $5, $10 on a crazy maximum day, and it's only for 3 days. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, let's see what generates off of that. But the platform needs more time to spin the ads in front of people because we don't buy stuff off the first time. It used to be that you need to get 7 times in front of somebody for them to buy something. Now it's 14 and plus. So they have to see that content over and over and over, which means they have to see it across a bunch of days. So we have to put money down on it. If you do $100 a day, we're going to grab even more people faster. We're going to take all these people and put them into your website, and they're going to go to wherever they need to. And if they don't convert, it's going to let you know that something's wrong. Something's wrong on the website. If you have $200 that went out, $300 that went out already, and nobody's even going to the website, then the ad is wrong. If you have $500 that went out and you have 500, 1,000 people that went to your website, but nobody booked anything, bought anything, then the website's wrong, right? But it tells you exactly where at each stage that you need to fix something. So if you do that, you'll learn a lot faster because you can target out of this world. Do y'all know that Facebook has 52,000 data points on each of us? 52,000 data points on each of us that it knows about us. And I can't tell you 1,000 things about myself. So it knows how to find an audience, even without you going out there and doing all that crazy targeting. If you just left it pretty open and you made content really, really good, you're going to get it in front of the person that you want to get it in front of. Maybe just not at $100 a day. All right. So your new partner is artificial intelligence, AI. I know it's like, okay, yeah, we think ChatGPT, but there's a ton of other platforms as well that are creating waves. Have anybody ever heard of Manus AI? No? So Manus AI is a software that has agentic ability. All that means is that it can do stuff for you like an employee or an agent of yours would do. So I could say, hey, build this, build that, and go to this website and log into here and do this, and this is the password. And it'll open up a window with its own computer tab and click around and do the stuff for you and actually go through the process of filling everything out and finishing up whatever you needed to do. At that point, what are we talking about? Have you guys ever heard of Lovable? All right, so Lovable is a platform that does vibe coding. Do y'all know what vibe coding? Have y'all ever heard of vibe coding? Yeah. So this is a new terminology, and I asked somebody, it seemed like the silliest definition ever, but vibe coding is when you're coding using vibe of how you feel about stuff because you're really not coding at all. You're just typing in what you want to change next. You're like, I don't like the way that this looks. Change this to blue and change this to this and make this move slower like this. And it'll go in and write the code for you and then put it into the platform. So Lovable, What was the name of it? Yeah, vibe coding. And so you can get a platform like Lovable, which is a vibe coding platform in which you could just tell it, man, I want to create a platform that has this, that, and the third. It has these colors. We're trying to do this. This is the business that I am. It has courses in it, and it'll build the entire website with the entire course platform for you in custom code that you can literally click go on and launch right now, whether you have a domain or not, because they'll let you use their domains in order to do it. Yeah, question? Like a better Wix. Yeah. Wix they implemented their AI in Wix now to where it'll help you build the website. It's not as crazy, but it'll give you the right formatting to how to build a website. I always just say, man, get a good template, fill in some content, and then shift it around as you see people come through the website. No, go ahead. Probably. In my storage and everything is done. So yeah, no. I appreciate that. One of my favorites in AI right now is Gemini because it links to your Google account. Like, who has a Gmail or uses Gmail as their main email? Okay, anybody use like MSN or Live.com or Hotmail or any crazy? Okay, Hotmail still? All right, cool. So with Gmail and Google Gemini, it's all connected. So you can generate a huge document, and then you can click one button and turn it into a document in Google Docs right away. And you don't have to do anything else like copy and paste it, and the formatting gets all weird and messed up. It'll create a document for you there. If you do deep research on Gemini, you can create it, and then you can press one button at the top, the create button of that whole thing, and you can turn it into a web page. It takes all the information and turns it into a web page for you right now. Or you can turn it into an app right now. Or you can turn it into an audio overview right now. An audio overview is literally, it makes an AI podcast episode for you to listen to right now. It has two voices talking about the topic in a way that you could, because some of us were not visual learners, some of us are audio learners, or at least we got to touch a little bit on each of them to get the information. So for me to get a 10-minute podcast episode about what I'm searching on and just that information distilled down, it's crazy. It's crazy. They got a system right now inside of Gemini called the Gem Manager, and where you give it the instructions of what you're trying to do first, and then every time you enter into that conversation, it already has those instructions. So I could say, I need to, because I have virtual assistants, like assistants that I, use from overseas, and I could say, I need a SOP, which is a standard operating procedure on how to do this. And to write down every step of how to do it, where to click on the platform, what the objective of this thing is, and to turn that into a doc, and I give it to this person. I'm giving instructions better than I ever have, because before I would just be like, you need to know how to do this. If you don't know how to do it, you need to do the research on it and figure it out. And then I'll come back to you tomorrow. Now I can actually just give them the instructions. It's one of the best things you could do. I mean, can we just go around the room and just, I would like to know any just passions that you have or something that you're working on or working towards in the near. Huh?
Me myself, I'm trying to create artificial intelligence technology, but like the more I get like deep into like making it my partner, I think I need to stop leaning on it so much, because like I was just reading a study just like not too long ago where it says like the human brain, is way faster than AI, and it's not even able to handle a human brain. And
Right.
when we're asking ChatGPT or Copilot these questions, it is making our what should I say, mind span a little shorter, very much shorter, and it's like we're swooping.
Mm-hmm.
It's level instead of getting further. Really, I feel like we could still use it, just you don't have to lean on it so much. I don't.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. So before y'all came in, I was saying that we have an attention span of 8 seconds now, and goldfish have attention spans of 9 seconds. So we have less of an attention span than goldfish now because of using things like this. But I think that we're just using it wrong. We have to we have to get in there, get the information, and then start applying it. I think people get caught like prompting things over and over and over and over to get it better, 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 better. When I'm like, bro, you should just at this point start building it. At this point, you need to go out there and try to implement it. What use is getting the information if you don't apply it to the real world? You know? So I agree. So something to check out, like I was saying a second ago, lovable.com. That is like an AI building platform for apps and stuff like that. And then what you'll do is you get a Google account or Google Workspace account, and then they will take you to an area where you can make what's called an API key and plug it into Lovable, and now you have your own app and it'll generate anything for you. And it's like stupid cheap, like so cheap, it's crazy. It's like $1 for 4 million tokens, which is like 4 million characters that it's typing. So at that point, I mean, I don't talk that much. I don't need to generate that much stuff. So that should cover you for a long, long time. But if you're trying to build a platform like that, look at Lovable and then look at Gemini API keys. Uh, yeah.
I'm gonna get into like business architecture and business management.
Nice, nice. So like administration of business and operations kind of stuff like that. Dope.
Like
So,
creating a functioning system that I'll be able to implement to every other business.
oh yeah, dope. Check out Go High Level. Yeah, Go High Level is dope. It's like just it's more on the marketing side as a platform of things that you can deploy into businesses. But you can also build AI agents using a platform called NAN. So the letter N, the number eight, and then the letter N again, right? And so one thing that we're doing with that platform is we're actually building like AI finance officers and AI operations officers right now, right? So what they could do is they could take all your information from QuickBooks and all your invoices and stuff like that. It can grab all the information and spit you back out an actionable plan for your business.
You said that one was called
Crazy. N8N.
Enable.
Uh-huh.
So this way we'll basically get deep into like the direct sales, so much and so forth.
Yeah, they do that too. So why I say go high level, that's the software that we build our software on top of, right? It has the ability to do AI voice agents. So like people can call your business and an AI pick up, have a conversation, grab it, put it in your system, send them a link, book them for a call. It'll do all that for them. And then you can deploy that for other businesses, which like some businesses, they literally pay somebody $2,000 or something like that a month just to answer the phone call. So if they don't have that person, now you can implement it for them. They'll pay you $400, $500 a month, and all you did was set it up one time, right? The same with we have conversation AI bots that we put in for businesses. It'll learn your business and it'll talk on Facebook and Instagram DMs for you. Because what happens with a lot of business owners, they're running this stuff and then they go look at Facebook way later and it's a message from 3 weeks ago. And they're like, yeah, I was ready to pay you $10,000, but you never answered. And you're like, you weren't going to pay me $10,000. You're lying. Because they're always lying, whatever they're saying at that point. But they probably would have worked with you in some capacity, right? Had you had answered them right in the moment. So we set up just ways for them to catch business. Even sometimes you don't even have to market. It's a good market. They just are losing business. It's like sand through their fingers. They don't even know, right? Most business owners, they lose up to 59% of missed calls. They miss 59% of the phone calls that come into their business because they're just working on other stuff. So that's the value of having a receptionist, but let alone having something to reach back out to those people again. It's like next level. And sometimes I just leave people with that because I've done this thing where sometimes I'll 5x a business and I see how stressful it is for the business owner. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to do it every time yet. Now I just want to put the system in there, let you maybe 2x it, get your stuff together, hire some people that would do more. Hmm.
So outside of like content creation and stuff, what would be a good market or a good lane to go into with business administration and business architecture?
Yeah, business administration. So I'll say this, with any industry, I feel as though whatever you're doing, you need to turn yourself into an AI operator, right? So whatever you're doing, you can use some type of AI system is out there to do it better, to do it 5, 10 times better. So even if you were just working internally with a business and you were able to utilize AI in your everyday, you would probably be beating Sherry, who's been over here for 20 years, but she's too scared to crack open a laptop when it comes to that thing. So you can build your own platforms, right? With your own agents that you're just deploying, and you just make a website and have people sign up for it. All you gotta do is talk to people about it. It's like, hey, do you have an accountant? No. It's like, okay, I have an AI accountant that will click and link into your QuickBooks and find areas that you're losing money. Would you want to not lose money? Like, yeah, I would like to not lose money. And then that's your endpoint for it. So I think AI operation and AI agents is the next thing that's going to really be easy for people.
So how would I go into AI operations and AI? What's the second one that you said, administration?
Yeah. Right. I would say look at N8N again, but just look at the tutorials on how to actually build it. And then inside the platform, they have a template library that you go to. People already doing it, so they're not hiding it. That's the good thing with these type of things. The same with like crypto. And everybody is out there to put everything out in the open, to give you all the information out in the open, right? So if you go to N8N, they have a template library that has everything that you can need to build, and all you have to do is fill in and connect the little platforms in between. And then once you understand how it works, you can just rebrand it as your own thing, right? So that's it. It's just accessibility for all now with the AI. Hmm.
My name is Peaches, and I write music and I sing around.
Met you a long time ago. A long time ago. Yeah.
We're at
Walmart. Walmart.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That far, but
Yeah. Amazing singer. Like if y'all haven't tapped in.
but yeah. So what I'm doing now is basically just kind of like hogging my content so that I can have folders of content
Hmm.
so that I can just relax. If that makes sense.
Right.
Um, is that smart?
It is to a certain extent, right? So once you already have X amount of content, let's say it's 4 months worth of content, you can re-rotate your content. So you have new eyes that are coming to your platform all the time. If you look at your breakdown on your professional dashboard on Instagram, for example, you'll see that probably 60% of these are new eyeballs, people that you've never seen before. Same thing with TikTok. So you can do a 3 month rotation of content and keep putting the same stuff back out and archiving the old stuff, and it just literally gets it back in front of people.
I'm also doing it because it's like I have the songs done, but I don't have the album cover and the video. And it's best to have all of that together. When
Somewhat.
releasing a song to lo- elongate the process of promoting.
Yeah. So I have like a contrarian point of view on that because I've worked with a ton of artists before. There's too many avenues in music that you can make money. So you need to just put it out there into the world. You know what I'm saying? I know it feels like super crazy, but it's about putting it out on different channels, right? So whether you're using your TuneCores, whether you're using DistroKid, whether you're using United Masters, and then you put it on TikTok, putting it on Instagram, you're reaching out to influencers to use the song in their stuff. There's just different ways to like attack it, but it's not, easy. You got to put in hella time for it.
The main problem I'm having is I would say like owning my material and like intellectual property.
Yeah,
That is something that I just don't have.
that's it. So use United Masters, definitely. Go to United Masters and get your get your masters, man. Get your stuff. Make sure everything is copywritten, or you can do a poor man's copyright and just copyright your music and do stuff like that and mail it to yourself. You know what I mean? And get that stamp on it and never open it again. You can do that as well.
I also don't want to be like great and get bought like Michael Jackson. But like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the thing too. It's like at least you will be able to be bought by. You know what I mean? I think that's the prospect of it, right? We have this thing to where we want to own everything, and you should. But if somebody is trying to pay you like $100 million or $500 million for your stuff, it's like, okay, well, think about it. Take it, think about it, stir on it, because it's always going to be out there for the world. And you can always put in a clause that says you have an unlimited license to use it for yourself as well. So whether you own it or not, you're able to use it in whatever capacity you would ever want to. So that's just how you just got to write your contracts like that. But once you do it, then it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like, well, this is like super high level stuff, but like trust, for example, you don't have to own it. You just have to have control over it. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah. All right. I'll wrap up with this. This is our 8 pillars of digital marketing. If you are trying to run a business or, market your business, think of the different things. And if you're not doing one of them, think about doing one of them at least. And then don't tie yourself to just one platform, because the platform can change tomorrow. So social media ads, that's ads on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. PPC, these are Google ads or Bing ads if you're crazy. SEO, which is search engine optimization. That is putting stuff on your website in a way that will get more organic eyes to go to you for people that are searching for you. Building your website in a good format. If you can't do that now, today's age, you're crazy. Social media, getting in front of a camera. If you're not in front of a camera trying to promote yourself, you're crazy. SMS marketing, send text messages out. You could do that on your own phone for free. I don't know why we don't do it. If you were to send a message to everybody on your phone today and just ask them to check out something, you'll be surprised the amount of opportunities that would come back. We have a campaign for that we actually do for our customers, and they're like, oh, damn, this is crazy. Email marketing, if you're not emailing every day, not every day, every week or every month or something like that, getting to your people. It's just for no reason. It's there. It's a free thing to do. So it's just easy to do. And then public relations, not as easy to do, but finding opportunities to put your brand in front of whatever on a magazine or something like that. It could just be strategic partnerships. You should constantly be looking for that, and you'll find that in networking events. So if you do all 8 of these and you only got one piece of business from each of them, you're going to be able to scale your business like it's nothing at all. And it's nothing to get one person through any of these. But thank y'all. That's all I have for y'all.